Record the sharing.
I'm still here. I can hear you.
All right. I think you had said that you wanted that a former instructor had said something about mind mapping or putting together associations. The first 20 things that you think of, or the first 10 things, I think it was you said, is usually the best. So the first thoughts that you have is usually what you're trying to say. So those initial words, when you mind map, you're really trying to figure out, what do I want to say about this topic? So I'm going to pick a topic now. There, in this example, the Titanic was the example. And Chelle, can you read the first two paragraphs? Because I'm going to be sending somebody a Zoom.
Okay, no problem. Okay, so just read. Okay, it says, my apologies for the lateness of this post. Oh, okay, let me skip over that. Ready for this next part of the journey. Okay, here we go. Going into the actual process of writing jokes, pretty straightforward. Let's jump in. Your main tool here is free association. You've probably heard of exercises where you write or say anything that comes to mind when given a subject or topic. That's pretty much what you do here. You write the information in any format that suits you best. You can do lists, outlines, or even mind maps. A book I've been reading titled The Serious Guide to Joke Writing recommends using mind maps, which are my personal favorite writing tool. When I say write anything and everything that comes to mind, I do mean just that. So here's an example of me doing this exercise with Titanic as the topic. Okay, so then there's the picture we look at. I see Titanic circled in the middle with different free association words, outer page there. As you can see, a bit of everything comes to mind. Actors from the movie, other films they've done, the Titanic itself, etc. Once you write down some free associations, look at them and free associate from those. If you want to avoid a messy mind map that might be large, you can write separate mind maps. Here's a small one I did on icebergs. Okay, so then this next picture is icebergs. In addition to writing stuff that comes to mind, you can play with the words themselves and write what they make you think of. You can tell in the other mind map that I really let loose with the free associations, which is important. Don't hold back from anything that comes to mind, even if you think it's silly. As you write, it's very likely that ideas for jokes will come to mind. So go ahead and write them. I'll have a separate clean page of paper nearby where I'll write actual jokes as I think of them from the free associations. Techniques you can apply to get the most out of your material include wordplay, double
entendre.
Thank you, double entendre. Similes and oxymorons. Go ahead and write the jokes as they generate in your head. Not every sentence has to be a joke. Some are simply there to help you transition between ideas. I call those segues.
Okay, you can stop there. I just sent the email, so we're caught up. So basically, a mind map is you're going to write something in the center of the page, and then you're going to draw lines as you think of different topics. And once you think of that separate topic related to your main topic that you, or should I say, setup idea, and then you're going to write, for example, the Titanic, the first thing I think about, and I would draw a line, and then I would say, Titanic, dead people. Because dead people are funny to me, this happened, and so then I would draw dead people. Now, if I wanted to just stay on dead people, I can draw a line and make that and draw something else. What do I think about dead people? The dead people associated with water, I think of bloated. So I would write bloated, dead people, and then I have Titanic. Now right there, you can, who's that? Oh, welcome. Hi.
Thank you. Hi.
Thank you. Okay, so we're talking about mind mapping, and this part is being recorded for one of the students, so just to be aware of that.
Okay.
And then we're going to do an exercise on mind mapping for jokes.
Okay.
Welcome.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
So right there, you have Titanic, and then I drew the line up, and then I said dead people, and right below I drew another bubble, and that said bloated. So you have 3 different topics. Now you can use the example that was listed here and say, what's funny to me about that? Bloated dead people who are dancing on a ship. Boom, that's an image. But basically what you want to do is figure out what you feel about this topic in your mind map. And it could just be one word for now. And it may take a while where you put the page aside and you go back to it the next day and you look at it. These are my first 10 thoughts on this topic. This is what I'm trying to say. Part of your brain is trying to communicate. These are my top 10 things that just came out of my brain, like a brain fart, but it's also something's here on this page. Now you can then take another topic, just pull it out and say, bloated dead people, and start a new page the next day. And then you can use that. Basically, this is a long way to go. If you're stuck, or if you need to produce material and you just want to figure out what is inside your brain, but you can't figure out what's inside your brain, this is a go-to trick that many comedians, and I know comedians from that have been doing comedy up to 5 years, and they have to produce a joke. They're going on stage tonight. They need to have, or open mic. They need to do this. This is a good way to get what you think about the topic, what's funny to you about the topic, and it could be done as examples. We'll send this link around, but he said, how do you see anything wordplay funny here? Can you tie 2 links? Once you do an exhaustive map of just drawing things related, can I take 2 of these items that are almost opposite and kind of smash them together? So it becomes help me with that word, justification, just 2 comparing things. Anybody jump in? Justification,
Comparison.
comparison. All right.
Comparison. Portray point of view.
Yeah, whenever I try to sound just a little smarter, it goes like
Juxtaposition.
justification. Yeah, that's it.
Oh, juxtaposition. Okay, with you
right.
now.
2
Okay.
things that don't belong together usually is what they call one of them becomes a punchline because they just don't belong together. So
Can we
all right,
try
so
something, Henry? Can we
Yeah, we're gonna
try
try it.
just for grins? Can we all do the same topic like Titanic or a different topic and just do for say a couple of minutes, write out
Yeah,
our mind mapping and then compare?
well, the first exercise is actually exactly that. I'm going to go around.
Okay.
I'm going to do a group mind map. The second exercise is going to be your topic, your mind map, and if you like, after you can share it or share
Cool.
parts of it. So this is going to be a start with a group mind mapping, but I want to get everyone on the same level.
Okay.
Does everyone understand?
Well, I just came in, so I don't know, but I'll just follow along.
Okay,
Maybe kind of
all right.
recap for Joe, Henry.
Yes, we're doing a different, this was brought up at a previous class. Can we do something that is generating a joke when you're stuck or when you are just don't know how you feel about a topic? So this is a perfect way to loosen up the cobwebs, and it's step 1 of a few, but
Okay.
it's all a part of a writing. So in this part, all you need to know is if you can just pick up from the examples, I'll have you go last, and then just think about, we're trying to do a word association type of thing, where what's
Okay.
associated. It could be very closely related or a different topic altogether. So back to Titanic, a slightly different topic would be small ships, tugboats. So it's related, but not, could be an entirely different, similar to topic. So let's start with a new topic, and this is the group activity. Ron, are you still there? Do you understand? Is Ron there?
Hi, I'm sorry, I'm here.
So Ron, did you understand that that what we're doing, the group exercise?
Not entirely, but like Joe, I'm just gonna go with the flow, you know, as we're doing each exercise.
That sounds good. Okay.
Let's do.
Sometimes I'm like that too. I'm a hands-on learner.
Let's do the. I think actually doing it, you'll get it and you'll see how it's helpful. But we're going to try to do the group exercise. Do you have a topic, Chelle, or do you want me to pick one?
How about Star Wars?
Oh, my favorite. All right.
Well, you're wearing a Star Trek shirt, actually. Maybe we should do. No, let's do Star Wars. More people are familiar. Was everyone familiar with Star Wars here?
Yes. All right. So I'm going to start it off by saying, when I think of Star Wars, I think of Star Trek, which is the opposite. People that like Star Trek, you don't have to give a reason for your bubble, but people that like it usually do not like Star Trek and Star Trek. Star Trek and Star Wars are competing against each other. People don't like each other. How can you like that crap? Star Trek. So I
need to warn y'all that there's a bad storm starting here, so I'm hoping that we don't lose our Zoom connection because it's through mine here. So I just want to give y'all a heads up in case any reason this goes out, the Zoom goes out, that's why. Because I just realized the bad storm's starting now. Go ahead.
I'm sorry to hear that. Is it the big one? Is it the big one?
It's a big one, like hell and stuff. It's not a good one.
Not. All right, stop sharing if you can, the screen. I'm going to show this on there. So far we have this here, if everyone can see. I put Star Wars here and Star Trek here, and Chelle is going to go next, and if Ron is next.
So when I go next, do I write out from Star Wars or from Star Trek?
Now, if you started from Star Trek, you can do a bubble down beneath, and it's related to that. But you might want to just say, how do you feel about this one, Star Trek? Before you go into, you could go either way, but.
I can do either?
But be bold.
Be bold? Okay, I'm trying to remember what it's called. What are Star Trek fans called? There's a term for them. My husband's one of them.
You're doing Star Wars or Star Trek?
No, Star Trek. Oh, Trekkies.
Okay, Trekkies. Okay, so we'll go down and write Trekkies. And now, Ron.
Star Trek way superior than Star Wars.
So just one word. What, superior? You want to?
Yeah, superior, referring to Star Trek.
Okay. And there are only two people. Just jump in.
Powerful.
Powerful. For which, where do you want your little bubble from? Do you want it on next to Star Wars or next to Star Trek?
Star Trek. Star Trek.
Okay.
Lightsaber.
Is that going next to Star Wars or Star Trek?
Star Wars.
Okay, so we go there. Lightsaber. All right, so we'll just do a couple of more. I'm going back, and I'm going to go to my original topic, which was Star Wars. I'm going to draw a bubble just on the side, and I'm thinking of Jedi. Now you can react to any of these and try to think about how you feel about a topic and then put it in one word, and that's going to get two things. You're tapping into your brain, but you're also tapping into probably something you're going to want to write about.
So what were the connection, the words, all the words?
Right now we have Star Trek, and then we went up here and we went on a Star Wars, then we did Star Trek, Trekkie, and then we did Powerful, and then Ron went to, Glenn did Lifesaver, and Ron did, what was yours, Ron? Did I get it there?
Superior.
Superior, yes, so there it is,
Oh,
Superior. And I did Jedi. So
Okay,
let's
so
go to the
you and Glenn
third.
did Star Wars then.
Yes.
Lightsaber and Jedi were both Star Wars. The rest of us were Star Trek. Okay.
Now, who's next? You and Chelle?
Okay, I'll do Star Wars and I'll put Yoda. Actually, ooh,
Baby Yoda.
I was about to say that. I was about to say, or Baby Yoda, because he's more popular right now.
And
This is
Baby
the main
Yoda.
glory, 'cause I love Baby Yoda.
There's something very funny about the words Baby Yoda. Just sounds funny.
He's just adorable. I just want to hug him.
Mhm.
But, I feel that way about regular Yoda, too. I've always just wanted to hug Yoda. Now I really want to hug Baby Yoda.
Yeah, no. Baby Yoda. And now we're going to Ron.
Wisdom.
Wait, say it again.
Wisdom.
Which one?
For Star Wars or Yoda?
Well, it's really Yoda. I don't know how wise Baby Yoda is yet.
He seems pretty smart for a baby.
Oh, okay. Well, I hold on. Let me think. Let me see. How about to Star Trek Picard?
Picard, that's a good one.
Hard. Good one.
Just the name. Picard.
Star Trek
Make it
what?
Picard.
Like
is the
Captain Picard.
He's my captain. All right, so we have Star Trek Picard. We have Baby Yoda.
I didn't
For
hear.
Star
What
Wars.
did he say? What was his word?
Picard.
Like
Like the
P-I-C-A-R-D. Like Captain Picard
Oh,
from
Picard.
for Star
Captain.
Trek. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You got it, Joe.
Thanks.
All right, and then Joe, you
Yeah.
have one?
Yeah.
There's
Got
a
it.
lot of choices on the board, so you can just relating to any one of those or go back to Star
Oh,
Wars.
okay. Adorable.
Next to Baby Yoda?
Yeah.
Or unless Picard, it's funnier if it's Picard.
Does it
is
need to be more of
adorable.
is that okay to use or no? Is
Yeah,
it more of a,
No, it's just one word but I think it's funnier if you flipped it, and I'm just saying that I put
How
it next to
about,
Baby Yoda, but what if Picard was adorable? That would be funnier because it's the opposite. You don't think of Picard.
Okay.
Have you
what
seen
about-
a picture?
right, what about ugly? Because it's the opposite of what Baby Yoda is, so you could say ugly.
Okay.
But I'm
Okay.
a little confused because I thought the point was for her to write adorable but next to Baby Yoda, and then we go back and look at the whole mind mapping.
Right.
and figure out
Yes.
what to
I
say.
went on a tangent, and you're right, Chelle. So
You're into the next steps.
I'm gonna
right,
keep
Henry?
I'm gonna keep adorable, but I
Okay,
want you to start thinking about how you can flip it, because that's the comedy. Is you basically, if you set up a premise and then
Okay.
you wanna try to find something funny, you go to the opposite. So of course everyone thinks he's adorable. Let's go with funny face. Let's go with something different. But yeah, so we'll keep adorable. And
Okay.
Glenn, do you have one? If Glenn can talk, he can type.
Nerd fight.
Say that what?
Nerd fight.
Okay. Where does that
That could
go
be
next
for
to?
either.
That
That's
could be-
well, it's either. Well, okay. Here's the basis of nerd fight is because if you ever watched The Big Bang Theory, right? So it's based on nerds, and they had that. They were kind of Star Wars or Star Trek. Which one's better? So it was like a nerd fight, and
But
So
so
my-
you want to
so what-
draw it
so-
next to?
For both?
Nope.
for
Can I
kind of for
draw it?
both,
Yeah, that could
I
be the
think you kinda
common
do it
ground
both.
theme.
right? And my head is leading me or running toward what are other like things you could say for a nerd fight, right? Math
Okay.
versus physics, math versus physics, or there are other things out. That's just kind of where I think about. But if I had to put one,
So I put
So-
it, Glenn, so I did Star Wars. I drew a bubble up here, and then I put nerd fight. Now you decided this is what's grabbing you, then you can just put this in a separate page and then make a whole new mind map. But I think that's unique to you. And I think that's also something that you're thinking about, and you can probably find something really funny about that. So if it's something, it's your first 10 thoughts are usually the best 10 thoughts. I'm
Well,
quoting someone Glenn said.
can't he use that as the common theme though, a common ground, like do a parallel between Star Trek and Star Wars with nerd fight?
Yes.
So I
That's,
put my lines to both on
you
my
can
mind
you
map.
can even do it, yeah. For both.
Yeah, I think
So
that's a
mind
great
map.
common ground to use.
All right, now just using here, we're going to end the exercise. Just want you to put into a sentence anything that appeared on the bubble with the idea of thinking funny. It doesn't have to come out funny, but even if you went opposite any one of these, and it's unique to your thoughts, I will start first, so you'll get an idea. So you basically see what's on the board. I'll repeat: Star Wars, Star Trek, Trekkie, Superior, Picard, Jedi, Baby Yoda, Adorable, Lifesaver. So we're going to create one sentence each using this. Any word, the opposite word, and you can just pretty much do what you want, but use this as a basis. Just do one sentence. You're not, doesn't have to get a laugh, but it's just to get your brain to think, how do I find an association? And how do I twist what,
Can
where
you do
the
an
audience,
example for us?
yes, I'm gonna go first, yes.
Okay,
So if the
thanks, because I
audience
don't
is
feel
expecting
comfortable
you,
yet.
if the audience is expecting you to say Star Wars is better than Star Trek, then you flip it and say, no, Star Trek is better than Star Wars. So somehow you're going to purposely find something that doesn't exactly fit there. It's better if you have two things that don't fit, and then you're on your way to getting the funny.
I wrote something. I don't know if it's right, but I wrote something.
Okay, can you hold on a second? I'm going to go first, just to give everyone an example, and then I'll let you go second. Okay, so from this example there, I'm going to say, my lifesaver is a nerd fight with Baby Yoda getting shivved. What do you do when you stab somebody? Shivved? Yes. My lifesaver is a nerd fight with Baby Yoda getting shivved. So you see what I try to find some similarities, but then I'm looking for a purposeful twist. It's not the best, funniest twist, but you're just getting into the feel of this goes together with this, but how can I twist it? That's what a joke is. It's a setup, how you feel about that setup, and then a twist. So in the simple way, the simplest joke that you can do. Okay, you can go next, joke.
I can think of many other superior ways to use a lifesaver.
That's good. I would want to see, the only thing, I'm going to give critique to everyone, but it is minor one. What I would like to see there, I could think of, so repeat it one more time.
I can think of many other superior ways to use a lightsaber.
That is exactly the way to do it. I can think of many superior ways to use a lifesaver. What I would want is a little bit more of a twist, or I want to know, how do you feel about that? So it could be a simple word like my superior, or something that personalizes how you really feel about lifesaver. Every joke should have a piece of you on the stage. Every joke should reveal your personality. So always personalize it to, I can think of, so the twist can come with an example. I can think of it a few ways for a lifesaver.
Because isn't that personalizing it? I can think
Yes.
of many ways.
So the twist would be, is your example. Here's an example
Okay.
of that. And that, you don't have to finish it now, but that would be that kind of, that's the punchline.
Okay.
Because you did do everything correctly. You personalized it. And there, what would be the big reveal, here's what I really think.
Mm-hmm.
And it's especially funny if people aren't expecting it.
Right.
And they look at you on stage and you're telling this joke and be like, I don't believe she said that. Why did she say that? Or what? This is how she really feels, and that can be funny. Just a plain sentence. Okay, let's go to Chelle.
Thank you.
Okay, I wrote nerd fights are powerful. They make me feel superior.
Nerd fights are powerful because they make me feel superior. Again, everything is there perfectly. I know you use the word I. So this is you, how you feel about it. Nerd fights. I wonder if nerd fights needs a description of what is a nerd fight to you. Could be different from me, because a nerd fight to me is like those people playing slap hands. They don't really fight. They're just like, you know, they play fight. I don't think of, I could be wrong. I don't think of nerds as fighters. Like, on guard. I challenge you to a death.
I've had a lightsaber fight. I'm just saying.
I think it's a funny premise, and that what I would say is there that you want to go a little bit bigger in your final, the final line should be an exaggeration or a surprise, something like that, because it's leading up, almost all the elements are there. But when you're thinking of something that's factual, take it up 3 notches so that it's an exaggeration. So everything's there in what you said, and just exaggerate. And I mentioned this last time, there's such a thing where I've seen it, someone give a punchline and it's just 2 words that just have nothing to do with the sentence before. The punchline could be just simple thing like, I'm talking about the weather, and it's just like, poppyskop. Poppyskop doesn't have anything to do with the rest of the weather talk, but just that one sentence, it's not expected, and it's also an elevation of your emotion that's true to you. That could be a punchline. So we're going to next. Ron, if you're ready.
So, Alien versus Predator has been done. What's taking Star Wars and Star Trek so long to cross each other? Wouldn't it be amazing if Picard, Captain Picard, and Baby Yoda would fight together? I wonder who of them is more adorable.
That's everything in there is there. I would shorten it, but I think it's there. The idea itself of comparing the two, Star Wars and Star Trek, I'd want you to lean the scale a little bit. And what I mean by lean the scale, I want to hear you talk in a way where you've decided which one is the winner. You've decided, but meaning like that reveals what Ron's thinking. And I'll give you an example of that. The same thing, Star Wars, if we got them together, where's their crossover? Fighting those puny Star Trek people, they call themselves Trekkie. You get the feeling that I'm not liking Star Trek people? So I want to hear a little bit more of you saying, this one is better, because then that's funnier, because it's doing 2 things. I'm getting who Ron is, but I think the premise is also coming across, this is me. My idea, but lean a little bit more. The idea of who would win in a battle also is visually funny. So the second thing you want to do with this mind map is think of visuals. Whether when you're telling stories or jokes on stage, the more visual, you're putting an image in somebody's head, and then you're bursting it. So that's the idea. with that. All right, so last one, Glenn, if you're available.
All right, I'm ready. Can you hear me?
Yep.
All right. I was substitute teaching the other day. Heard two kids fighting over Star Trek and Star Wars. What kind of nerd fight is this? Is calculus and physics not challenging enough? Do we need to introduce PE?
That, I like the word PE by itself. That's funny. I know what it means, but just tell them what it means. PE.
Physical education,
Yes,
gym class.
I know. But the way you said it, PE, that's a funny, just by itself, those two words, two letters, I mean. That's very nicely done. I thought that you jumped right in with an image of a substitute teacher.
Yeah.
So that's right there. I have an image in my head. And when you can do that and then set up the fight, I would probably trim some of the words in there. There's a few extra words, but you want to set up right away the image of a substitute teacher, the two competing sides. I'm trying to think that the punchline could be PE itself, or it could be a little bit. Are you trying to say, and this is something you can figure out, are you for the nerds, or team PE? And you don't have to say words, but you can imply which is better. What's the obvious? It should be obvious. PE is the best thing. I want you to lean a little bit, the scale a little bit there.
And intertwine the PE class into two teams, like the team Star Trek and the team Star Wars, like the lightsabers against whatever. I don't know.
Well, kind of where I was going was because they're discussing that, or nerds, so they're discussing Star Trek versus Star Wars. Apparently, they have not enough time. Calculus and physics aren't challenging enough, right? Well, nerds typically don't do very well, athletically.
Right.
So that's why I said, do we need to introduce PE? And it was just they weren't being challenged, I guess, enough in physics and calculus that they're going to debate this thing, right? So let's challenge them with PE. It's kind of where I was going.
Also, I can imagine the visual of, if you were doing this as a bit, that you can do an act out where there's somebody, I would like to see a nerd trying to do PE.
Right.
That's something. I was a nerd in school and I was like, oh, I don't want to do that.
And I could have said,
Yeah.
if you're trying to challenge yourself, I suggest PE or something,
I suggest PE or introduce. I like the way you said it. Introduce PE. Said because introduce PE at first, it took me a while to catch up. Introduce PE because if you're talking science, mathematics of the two things,
Right.
it's said with big words. So if you introduce it's a $7 word. Introduce PE. That I think that works there. And almost your word choice tells me something about you. So so all those check boxes are there. Chelle, you can stop recording there because that's the first part. This is now